Where were you last night?
You're always so paranoid and insecure. It's so exhausting to deal with.
I don't think I'm paranoid. I just wanted to know where you were last night because you said you would be home early, but you weren't.
See? This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're always questioning me, always assuming the worst. It's like you don't trust me at all.
I trust you, but you said you would be home early, and you weren't. I was just curious.
Curious or controlling, you need to relax and stop being so controlling. It's not healthy.
I'm not trying to control you. I just wanted to know where you were.
Well, your constant need for reassurance is driving me crazy. Maybe you should talk to someone about your trust issues.
But I don't think I have trust issues. I just wanted to.
No, you definitely have trust issues. It's not normal to be so obsessed with what I'm doing all the time. You need to work on that.
Maybe you're right. I will try to be less concerned about it. I understand that you feel I'm being overly curious, but it's not about not trusting you. When you said you would be home early and weren't, I got worried. I believe communication is important in a relationship, and knowing each other's whereabouts help build trust.
Well, your constant need for reassurance is driving me crazy. Maybe you should talk to someone about your trust issues.
I don't think it's fair to label it as trust issues. I believe open communication is healthy. I'm not trying to control you. I just want us to be on the same page. If the situation were reversed, I would appreciate knowing where you were.
No, you definitely have trust issues. It's not normal to be so obsessed with what I'm doing all the time. You need to work on that.
I disagree. Wanting to know about each other's plans isn't obsession. It's a way to stay connected. I'm willing to discuss our communication styles and find a middle ground, but I don't think it's fair to dismiss my concerns as trust issues.
Hello, my fellow conquerors. Thank you for watching my first skit. Please excuse any noises that were in the background. This is my first time recording voiceovers for skits like this, and I will be considered an amateur. So through time, I hope to produce better quality videos, but I do hope that you enjoyed this very first video that I created. And the reason why I wanted to create this video is because I'm sure this has happened to many of you where you had a legitimate concern and you tried to address it, and instead it was turned back on you, which it would make you feel like you were doing something wrong. So why does this happen? It happens because the person doesn't want to be held accountable. They don't want to answer questions. They just want to do whatever they want to do without feeling guilty or just having an adult conversation. So, this has happened to me plenty of times where I was in a relationship and I would ask the person where they were. They came home really, really late, and the response I would get was, "I'm grown. I don't have to answer you." And this happened plenty of times, and it was a way for the person to train me so that I would not ask in the future if that person decided they want to go out or do something where it is going to concern me or bother me, and they wouldn't want they want to train me so that I won't ask in the future. Another example I can give you at the workplace, a boss that I had, he would ask me to produce numbers from a database. And the numbers, he didn't like the way the numbers looked, but that is what the database produced because that's the data that was in the database. So he wanted me to give him the same number. And I said, well, that wouldn't be considered accurate numbers, but he wanted the same number. And every time I would run that report, he wanted the same number. So then he asked me months down the line, can I run him another report? And with this report, I had to give him the actual numbers. And he was not happy with me and he yelled at me and said, "Show me the numbers. I need you to show me the numbers." And in the beginning, I did tell him these numbers are not accurate, but he didn't want to be held accountable. He didn't want to be the one who had to give his boss inaccurate numbers, and he wanted to blame me. So I addressed it and I told him when I wanted to speak with him and someone else in the room so that they could witness. And he explained to me, I don't know if this is not going to happen again. It might happen again. And I set a boundary that day. I said, I speak to you in a respectful way, and I expect you to also speak to me in a respectful way. There is no reason why you need to speak to me that way ever again in the future. And I set a boundary, and I set a boundary with confidence. And how that happens is you have to know who you are. You have to know that you are a valuable person and your opinions matter, your concerns matter. And if you're addressing your concerns with someone, and the person is an adult and not a 7-year-old child or an 8-year-old child, and they're an adult, you should be able to discuss these valid and legitimate concerns like adults. And my suggestion to you is, even if you are expressing your concerns and the person is giving you a hard time, just like what you saw in the skit, stand your ground and make sure you tell them, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree with them. You don't have to take on that guilt that they're trying to give you because they're feeling guilty. And that's a lot what happens with people who have that type of personality where they try to manipulate the way you think. They try to manipulate your mood. What is it called? The narcissistic personality is projecting how they really feel on you. So if you notice that they're trying to manipulate your mood where they're trying to make you feel guilty, it's because in reality, they are really feeling guilty and they want you to feel the same way they do. And really, it's up to you if you're going to accept it or not. How do you feel about yourself? And that's the journey that I hope to go on with all of you, is on the journey of self-validation and validation from who God says that you are. And, going on this journey together. If we join this journey together, we can conquer this together. And learning who you are is so important. That's why I think the affirmations are important. I think reading the Bible, seeing what God says, that who God says you are, that's also very important. So I urge you to start going on that journey. Stop focusing on what other people think about you. Start focusing on what you think about you. Do you think bad about yourself? Why do you think bad about yourself? Can you think of anything good about yourself? Can you think of 2 or 5 awesome qualities that you have? And write them down and start focusing on those 2 or 5 awesome qualities that you have or more, because I'm sure you can find more. Stop thinking about the negative things that people said about you because it's not true. And what you say about you is what's true. What God says about you is true. Okay? So I hope that we can join this journey together, and I look forward to creating more videos in the future. And one last thing before I end, if you really like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon. Bye.